Miracle Makers, I want to give you a resource that you can find and how to search my website, which is here. Dr. Sarah Larson has a search button. And right here, COVID-19 resources, right? For staying up to date on what you need to know and being able to find this extraordinary talk. We were talking about and prepared for COVID in January. This page originally resources for COVID-19. Here is the Zach Bush and Del Bigtree interview right here. We'll let that load a little bit, and I'm just going to take you to a section.
My next guest is so important. 1%, maybe 0.3% at worst. And we know that flu can, in 2017 was causing a 7% mortality rate. So we knew at the beginning that this was not going to be some massively fatal thing unless we managed it wrong, and we did. Instead of learning from the past, we treated this like this was a vicious virus, and every death that happened got blamed on corona instead of our mindset. Our mindset of physicians that this is respiratory failure and I need to put this patient on a respiratory, that's the that mindset was killing people. We weren't responding to the real things below our fingertips, because as physicians, frankly, we have been brainwashed away from using our eyes, our nose, our fingers, and our sensory system to look at a patient. We don't believe anything until it comes through a serologic laboratory study or an MRI machine. If we don't do those two things, we have not been given permission to have any trust in our own intuition, our own massive capacity for quantum computation and intelligent decision making. That's been taken away from us, and we're threatened with lawsuits if you don't have the MRI and serologic data to back up your plan. We can't move. We are paralyzed as a medical system, paralyzed by the fear of doing the wrong thing, doing something outside of the current paradigm. And so for that, we are losing our patients. And so next winter, all of the physicians answering, knowing what you know, what are you going to do next fall? Are you going to vaccinate your patient? Because we know there's probably one more season where we'll see COVID in the environment. It takes 2 years for these coronaviruses to leave. By the way, know that this will be gone. Again, I said it earlier in the show, but it's very important, America, world. This virus will be gone by next summer. And when they come out with a vaccine next year, they're going to say that the vaccine eliminated the virus. That is physiologically impossible. That is scientifically impossible. And it has never happened with the previous coronaviruses that have circulated. So let us not be this easily duped, okay?
Right.
Another show, we can talk about whether I believe in vaccines or not. I think that there is an intelligent way we could go about understanding vaccines in the future. But since 1986, you know better than anybody else, we have not been testing for efficacy and safety of our vaccines. So are vaccines important? Is Zach against vaccines? No, Zach is fully for an intelligent, microbiome-informed new model for childhood immunity and vaccination. That's what I want people to sign on to. And so as an invitation on the tail end of this film will be an invitation to go to my website and sign a petition as a physician or scientist to sign up for healthy child immunity and intelligent vaccination. We need to bring the new science of the last 30 years to the microbiome to update our understanding of our relationship to the microbiome, and we need to stop seeing ourselves at war with it. We need to see ourselves as an ecological member. We are a member within this microbial community. We are an ecosystem in and of ourselves, and we need to now advance the science of vaccination to understanding that exquisite role of microbes in our genome, microbes in our immune system responsiveness, microbes in our capacity to adapt and resist cancer and the chronic diseases that are truly threatening life on Earth.
Just as we sort of finish this up, we've talked about all of what the virus does. What about the damage? I mean, you also work with elderly. We're locking elderly away. They're not being visited by their families. People are dying all by themselves in hospitals. People aren't being
dying. I think that must pass the tissue levels possibilities. I think I'm dying because the light is gone, and all I hear is crushing pressure, and all I'm experiencing this. And then suddenly you're in the light. All the pressure is gone. and you can't believe the beauty around you. The face of your mother is mind-boggling. There's 1,000 colors in just the iris of her eye that's looking in your face. And you're staring at that for a second. And then there's this like halo of light and color from this explosion of filaments out of your mother's head that we call hair. And it's creating these rainbows of color. And so all you can do is stare above your mother's hair and look at that for a while. And then suddenly there's this extraordinary, scene as it unfolds of greens and blues and your first sunset. You can't believe how beautiful the world is. And then we go through a forgetting of the magic that we are alive right now. And we forget that we are in an exquisite miracle of beauty every day. And we are dumbed down to an existence of drywall box with no microbiome diversity into an off-gassing plastic car that off-gasses cyanide and micro toxins into the environment. And we show up in an office building in carpeted cubicles that off-gas carcinogens all day long, and then we go to a grocery store and pick up a bunch of food that was treated with carcinogens before it was harvested, and then we go home and we sit around blue light devices that reset our and screw up our circadian rhythms, and we get depressed and we get disconnected, and then we go through this extraordinary event. And suddenly there's darkness in an ICU, and your eyesight is failing, and you're starting to see things through the glass darkly again, and you see shadows, and you see this, and there's an intense sense of pressure as your body starts to collapse in on itself. You can't breathe, your heart rate's failing, everything's starting to go, and then you go into this dark tunnel. You can hear voices perhaps, and you have this overwhelming sense of biology is being crushed into oblivion right now. And then you come out the other side, and it's more beautiful and more bright than you could have ever imagined. And then suddenly that doctor resuscitates you and pulls you back into the body. And you tell that doctor, it's so much prettier on the other side. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rebirth. I just found out that I'm fully accepted on the other side. I'm a beautiful creature of light energy, and I am excited to be there. The danger that we have right now is not a virus. The danger that we have right now is that we have sterilized ourselves from death. We have created sterility around the death moment, which is ultimately our reason we're here. We are here for a transformative experience where we find out we are not biologic, we are spiritual beings. We are light beings. We are spiritual beings trapped in a biologic shell for a moment. And we have learned to fear all of that. And for that, we are missing the beauty of life. We are missing the beauty of the face of our lovers, of the face of our children. We are missing the beauty of one another, and we are letting each other die alone out of fear of some genetic material that floats through the air and has since the beginning of time. We have the wrong story going on, and it is not a conspiracy theory. It is not some government laboratory. It is the human emotion of fear, and we are afraid of our own death, which is our rebirth. We need to reorient ourselves to life. We need to put into line not just our medical system. We need to put into line our manufacturing and consumer goods industries. We need to put into line our energy and transportation industries in line with biology. It has shown us how to produce energy cleanly. It has shown us how energy is produced at the cellular level. We could do that. We could put all of it back in line. And first and foremost, we need to celebrate life and stop fearing death. And we will act much differently towards each other. We don't need a revolution. We need an evolution. We need to evolve past our fear, and we need to find love. And love is not a thing. It's not something to be grabbed. It is an experience. And I believe it is, through the wisdom of one of my deep friends, Patrick Gentempo gave me this extraordinary gift last year. Love is not the fabric of everything. The fabric of everything is beauty. And our reaction to seeing the beauty is love. If you feel unloved, if you feel like you don't know what it means to love yourself or your loved one who is dying right now, then stop trying to generate the human emotion of love and start witnessing the beauty, and then you will experience the love. We need to see the beauty of the virome. We need to see the beauty of the microbiome. We need to see the beauty of a human breath. We need to see the beauty of a planet that can breathe when given the opportunity. We need to see the beauty of human touch, a hug. When we go back to a normal, I hope it's not the old normal. We need to find a new normal in these coming weeks. When they say you can go back to your normal activities, do not go back to your normal activities. Act much differently. See the beauty everywhere. Engage with the beauty, and most of all in your fellow humanity. And let's love each other in the experience of each other's beauty to realize a much different future.
Thank you, Zach. I think I want to leave it there. I think that is our message moving forward. We must not go back to normal. You're right. We are far more spectacular than being normal.
That is, oh, it's so beautiful to witness what is happening and to bring this forward. That was Zach Bush and Del Bigtree. And that was just the segment. And again, all of that is available here. Just an easy way to find it. Let me go back to where we
Thank
were.
you for taking the time, Zach. Take care.
This is.
Thank you all.
If you like that clip, then be sure to check out.
I can't recommend them enough. I cannot recommend this enough. This is on Dr. Sarah Larson, Resources for Coronavirus or COVID-19 Disease. Here is Zach Bush and Del Bigtree's interview. Here is the latest. I work with a lot of miracle makers are doctors. We work with doctors that are reinventing themselves. The highest level of fatalities, self-inflicted, are doctors and the most educated in our world. And this beautifully was sent in by Dr. Stefan Bayjan, translated from a Turkish, a lady physician in Turkey. And so this information will really help. And basically what it's stating here is this tiny little RNA code is affecting our hemoglobin. Our hemoglobin is the part of our blood that carries oxygen and is connected to iron. We have iron and it's displacing the iron and making the iron toxic and in a harmful state and leading to congestive heart failure, as well as contributing to a lot of immune responses within your system that leads to decreased oxygen. Back when this first came out, we were hearing stories of people dropping their bodies very, very rapidly. They would be walking and they would just drop, fall over. When we a lot of the images coming out of Wuhan, China, were consistent with that. And what we've now found, again, is this is to understand the way that miracle makers had prepared themselves was to have steamed water on a daily basis, to steamed water and oxygen to have higher levels and a great deal of rest, rather than the system that and here we've still got the beautiful list of supplements and types, ways to build physical immunity, emotional immunity, mental immunity, and spiritual immunity. That clip that we shared, that we just listened to, was so significant for understanding we handled this the wrong way. And that's why the deaths and the globe looks the way it does. We did not handle the COVID crisis in a manner, and now everything is opening back up. All of the communities, and it's going to run a 2-year cycle. You're going to need the sun and the moon and your ability to be in tune. You're going to need the possibilities of the community that you're with, to build your ability, that your microbiome, the ability to stay in receiving beauty. What is greater than yourself and keeps your light body on purpose? The moon, the sun, the connection with the cosmos. So over the next few weeks, as businesses and places are opening up, really monitor how your physical body is feeling. Listen to your intuition. Go to the places that have a great deal of sunlight and a great deal of this beauty and positivity and connection with the cosmos. I would not go to dark nightclubs or dark restaurants or dark hotels that have not had a great deal of light coming into their facility. Hospitals with beautiful windows and a great deal of heat, temperature, doctors that are really understanding the core problem. And any time that you're tested, anytime you have this code in your body, you could test positive or negative. There are no certain tests for this. There is only building your immunity. And that immunity is magnificent. Your immunity is magnificent. The spiritual immunity is connected by understanding yourself on the cosmic level. Your mental immunity is built by truly diving into this process of breath by breath, calming your system and connecting you with the cosmos and with the earth. Your emotional immunity comes from contributing in a way that builds the miracle frequency within you. When you put a quarter in someone else's meter, or when you drop a gift at someone else's home, or you donate something to a group or an organization, you're building that miracle frequency within yourself. And that gives and builds your physical immunity. And the thing that I would recommend that right now, tonight, we're all going to be together in a gathering online being hosted by the Conscious Life community and being hosted by some really beautiful organizers that have been meeting since April to make sure that the Starship Earth, Humanity Earth, that Saturday Night Live for Global Peace Tribe. Music tonight, wisdom tonight, comedy, the global community connects. It's and beautifully, it's a fundraiser. Let's see if I can share the screen again and just show you. And we're going to be talking so beautifully there. In a moment, we're going to dive into individuals, any question that you have or anything, but this is one of the places that you can donate to. And this is I'm so grateful to be on this stage with all of these incredible speakers. I'll be on tonight with Scott Katamas, Love Coach Academy, Deborah Gustier, Ken Kaufman, Diana Maxwell. Diana Maxwell is Conscious Life Expo. Let me show you this incredible flyer and the group of people, Damian Brinkley, Billy Carson, David Wolf, so beautiful, Robert Quicksilver, Elijah Ray, I mean, Mabel Katz, and beautiful Misty Galore, who's a miracle maker here. Many of the names that I've listed, I consider miracle makers as well. And you joining us makes all of the difference. In a moment, we're going to dive into connecting with you individually and connecting with the cosmos, what communication is coming for you during this time. And again, this is the time that we're opening all the doors, and more beautiful than ever is the possibility that your heart already knows the way. Your heart is connected to the cosmos, and the cosmos already have the natural formula to build your immunity in every shape and form. As you go out into the world, to use great precaution that brings you joy, that adds to the beauty and continuation of life. You are a spiritual being having this extraordinary experience, and this extraordinary experience matters. And when you no longer have the vessel, you will be able to see, experience, taste, know with all of your senses the difference that you made. You have no idea what a difference you make and have already made. And the more you know yourself, the more you master yourself, the more incredible the journey gets to be. And what's beautiful is for anyone that joins us right now in Miracle Makers Academy at the VIP level, we've got for you this gift of a visioning session with Greg, a medical intuitive or a life intuitive visioning, intuition, purpose session with me. And then of course, once you're a lifetime member, you get to travel with us. We're going to Mount Shasta this year in just a little while, June 13th to the 20th. You get to have amazing experiences within the community at the VIP Miracle Maker level. And if you sign up or if you connect with us before Sunday, we're so happy to have you have a visioning session with Greg, and then of course that VIP session, initiation, activation with me. I can't wait to answer your questions and to dive in on an individual basis with you deeper into the cosmos and your own personal astrology. We've got great teachers on with us today as well. They have been chatting and sharing. And baby, anything you want to share before we move through here?
Yeah, well, for one, that was an awesome morning, and I was so glad. I watched part of the Zach Bush interview, but I did not see that part where he talks about the miracle of being born, and we come out and we see all these colors. It's like, wow, we have arrived on one of the most special places in the universe. And then to be dumbed down to going from your sterile home to your sterile car to your sterile office, back to your sterile home, watching a sterile TV of the world. What have we done to ourselves? What a ridiculous situation we've gotten ourselves into. But aside from all that, then realizing that the miracle of death, in a sense, and how it releases us from this biology into the absolute glorious realm of spirit. Why would we fear that? Why have we let religion dupe us into thinking, fearing some sort of fire and hell in the afterlife when it's the farthest thing from the truth? I'm so glad Zach is alive. I'm so glad we discovered him a couple years ago. He's just one of my most amazing, mentors. Not having met him personally yet, but I just love, you know, just everything he's doing. He's such a champion for the human being and for this beautiful place, this beautiful home we have in Earth.
This beautiful home we have of Earth, and it's so beautiful. I delivered at least 300 babies. We stopped counting in India, right? And around after the 300th birth, that was to get that was the requirement, 300 babies, to watch them take their first breath, to connect the way that you do it, the placenta. And then I myself had all of these near-death experiences, and I'm so grateful that for the trajectory to be able to be of service at this level, Greg. And I thank you. It could not happen without you. Thank you for helping to create Miracle Makers Academy and making this platform and this service possible. All right, Miracle Makers, we're going to go into the Brady Bunch form.
You know what? I just want to make sure that everybody knows, because there's some new people who are joining us today, is that if you want to ask a question or